human rights and racism, and Islamophobia or Christianophobia. My name is Noreen Barkat and I'm the chairperson of Masihi Overseas. Just like Mr. Imran Khan, the Prime Minister of Pakistan at the moment, loves to talk about Islamophobia and he likes to blame all the Western countries, that everyone in the Western countries is suffering from Islamophobia and the Muslims are the victims of that, and they are the only one good and healthy ones and psychologically healthy, and he is the only one who cares about the human rights and everyone else is racist. But actually the reality is that when Mr. Imran Khan talks about the human rights of Muslim Kashmiris, he proves himself racist. Why? It just will take few seconds and you will realize. Maybe you knew already, but maybe you did not think about it. When he speaks about the Muslims in Kashmir suffering from curfew and suffering from all the wrongdoings of Modi, he proves himself racist because the curfew in Kashmir is not only on the Muslims, it's on all the Kashmiris. All the people who live in Kashmir are under curfew. So, why doesn't he talk about the rest? There are also Hindus, there are also Christians, there are also Sikhs and Muslims, and also some other religions. There are even Ahmadiyas in Kashmir. But Imran Khan talks only about the rights of Muslims. And if you talk only about the right of one group, where several others are also suffering from the same thing, then it's racism. And the second thing that Imran Khan, since the world started listening to him, he talks a lot about Islamophobia, that the Western countries and everyone in the Western countries except the Muslims are suffering from Islamophobia. So I have to tell you, Mr. Imran Khan, it's not the Western countries who are suffering from Islamophobia, it's the Muslim countries who are suffering from Christianophobia. Today, you should do a self-check on yourself and on your religion. And if you are not able to do that, I will just show you the mirror in few seconds. The biggest example of Christianophobia from the Muslims is that, of course, all the Muslim countries never give asylum to anyone, because if they will give asylum to the Muslims, they might also have to give asylum to the Christians. So they don't give asylum to anyone. They just want to receive and never give anything. Second example of Christianophobia that is Muslims have is, and it's not only an example, it's the reality. Even the bigger channels, they are tired of, news channels are tired of reporting every day about the mess that Muslims are making in the world through terrorism. And we are not talking only about one Islam and one Islam that is very peaceful. No, Islam has always created wars, not only with non-Muslims but also amongst the Muslims itself. Just like the biggest and the most famous war is the Karbala, where the Sunnis killed all the Shia and the Christians had to bury all the dead bodies. Yeah. The terrorism that Muslims bring into the world. Islamic states in Syria, in Africa, Boko Haram, in Pakistan, Taliban, in Afghanistan as well, Taliban, and Lashkar-e-Taiba, and Tehreek Labbaik, a man who doesn't even have legs was able to put the whole Pakistan locked down. Why? Because his tongue was just not controllable. Why not? Why not controllable? Because the Pakistani state had given him freedom to talk on all the TV channels, to spread his message. And only after they thought, now we have made a big and strong impression on the West that Pakistan can do anything when someone would say anything about 295C, then we are ready to kill and destroy everything. Then after having convinced the others, then you put him in kind of arrested, but he was never in jail. He was all the time in the hospital. And that was also cheating. You people always and almost every time, also the head of Lashkar-e-Taiba, it's actually called arrest, but he is living in his own house. He has landline, he has mobile, he has internet, and everyone can come and visit him. The only thing is that he cannot go out. But that's not a big sacrifice. When he can do all what he wants to do from his home house, from his home, why should he go out? Stop playing the hypocrite, Mr. Imran Khan. Do a self-check. Since your party has taken over Pakistan, there are almost every month one or two bigger incidents that are really very sad. A Muslim gets up and just kills some Christians only because the Christian family was getting successful. A friend, this new mullah that is now famous, is also a friend of Imran Khan. The Me Too, it actually means sweet, but he's doing only the horrible things. So the Me Too is also just kidnapping teenager girls, gets them married to over 40 years men who are already married and have daughters, adult children themselves. Then they get married to these teenager girls only to spread Islam. And then you come to UNO and talk about Islamophobia. Why don't you learn to shame yourself? Why do we have to do this? Why do we have to remind you to look up into the mirror? Mr. Imran Khan, stop being hypocritical. Learn first what is a phobia. A phobia is when someone is even ready to kill out of their fear that someone could take over. Muslims at the moment are killing all over the world non-Muslims and especially Christians because they are afraid that the Christians, the power of the Christians could grow even stronger. And especially the Christians in Pakistan are suffering from the Muslims. Almost every day one Muslim kills a Christian. And this is called a phobia. Mr. Imran Khan, I ask you to do a self-check on yourself and on your religion. And the request that I want to ask UNO is that please stop giving asylum to the Muslims. They do not come with clean thoughts to the immigration countries. When they come to the immigration countries, they are really the poorest victim on this earth. And as soon as they get the passport, they are against the country that has given them everything. They only can stand for Sharia, they can stand only for the Islamic countries. Then why don't they go to the Islamic countries to apply for asylum? There are also enough Islamic countries who are rich enough or even richer than Switzerland. So why don't they go there? And this is one of the things that I want to ask UNO and all the rest of the world, all those who care about human rights. Islamic countries on this world they must also start giving asylum. And even if they are very racist and they don't want to give asylum to the non-Muslims, at least they have to take their Muslims into their countries so that they will clean their own mess, so that they will realize how much harm the radicalism of Islam is doing to this earth. And there is not only one Islam, because the Muslims who are Sunni, they don't accept Shia as Muslim, Ahmadi doesn't accept Sunni as Muslim, and so there are many, or at least a few kind of Islams, and they all hate each other. And then they blame us that we hate them. No, we don't hate the Muslims. But that does not mean that we will accept their blame games and that their victim playing the victim games. No. Just like anyone else, just like everyone who has received something and is also responsible to give back something, just like that, the Muslims are also supposed to give back something to this world. And what are the Muslims giving? Nothing. They just play, oh, because I'm covering my head, that's why you don't like me. Even the Jew women cover their head. Even the Christian women cover their head. So what? That doesn't mean that you will not do your part. That doesn't mean that you will not be friendly to everyone. That doesn't mean that you will always say, I am something better because I'm Muslim. These things of Muslims are really sucking. And especially the forced conversions of Muslims in the Islamic countries and especially in Pakistan. Almost every week, every month, there are few cases of a Muslim, the Me Too thing, that mullah, that is nowadays a new best friend of Islam and of Imran Khan. He and his co-workers, they kidnap teenager girls. The kidnapper is allowed to misuse the teenager girl, and then the Me Too gives him the certificate of having married her. And Imran Khan, what does he do? He doesn't say these things to Me Too, but he comes and tells to the Christians, yeah, I actually Islam doesn't allow the forced conversions, but the Me Too is doing. Then why don't you put Me Too in prison? Why don't you ban the mosque of Me Too? Mr. Imran Khan, stop being hypocritical. Learn to do a self-check and learn to be fair. And of course, we are all for peace in the world and for peace in Kashmir, but not only the Muslims are suffering in Kashmir. Also, all other religions are suffering as well. So, I ask you, if you want the world to be nice to the Muslims, you also have to learn to be normal, at least normal. You people have to start showing that you can live you can bear up when someone else is also getting strong and successful. And you people have to stop killing Christians in Pakistan. With this, I will close my today's message, and I hope that Imran Khan starts also talking about Christianophobia amongst the Muslims. Thank you.